Over the last decade, our planet has been giving us signs, from rising temperatures and frequent natural disasters to a global pandemic. To counter this, business leaders and entrepreneurs have stepped up to meet the challenge. Through this series, we speak to these change makers to understand their journey into sustainability. This is Green Sense.
Hello everyone, I am Antara Krishnamurthy and today I am joined by Harini Sivakumar from Earth Rhythm. Founded in 2015, the company aims to develop smart and safe skincare that should be good for your skin and for the earth. The brand is non-toxic certified and uses raw materials that are sourced in an environmentally and ethically responsible manner. So Harini, to begin the discussion, what does sustainability mean to you?
Hi Antara, thank you so much for having me today on this session. I think, for us to lead a sustainable life, it's more than just being plastic free, just being, reducing your carbon footprint and everything. So it's basically a lifestyle in itself, which means that right from the products that you use, right from the packaging to the ingredients, there's so much more to sustainability. And I think, over the number of years, I have seen, consumers directly relating sustainability to plastic, which I think that, could be wrong at times because, sustainability is way more beyond plastic all in itself.
So what inspired you to begin Earth Rhythm? What was it that made you decide that this is something that's important to you?
My son was born with a disability called Down syndrome back in 2010. So I took a break from my corporate career back then, and it was a very conscious decision. So from 2010 to 2015, next 5 years, I was pretty much a happy homemaker, traveling from city to city with my husband. And 2015, we landed up in Delhi. I was looking out for certain type of products for my own use and for my son's use, and you would find a soap without fragrance in a pharmacy called anti-acne soap, but you wouldn't find it in a supermarket along with the mainstream products. Typically, if there was an active ingredient or if there was no fragrance in it, it would be called as medicated soaps and it would be sold in a pharmacy. So that got me thinking that, why are these not mainstream? It got me, to try a couple of products on my own. So the 2015 was only a time when, I was simply making my own products, trying to learn the art of soap making. Literally learned it from Google, I should say, Google and YouTube. 2016 was a time when, the bug caught me a bit more seriously. And even at that time, entrepreneurship was not something that I chose. It happened by chance. Never did I dream, aspire, or even think I would be an entrepreneur someday. The whole of 2016, I signed up with Institute of Personal Care Sciences, Formula Botanica, did a lot of courses. And that helped me a bit to understand in detail about formulations, about skincare, about the components and all of that. And so I decided to, probably start this homegrown brand called Soapworks India, literally through Facebook alone. I didn't even have a website back then. I used to sell through, social media pages, Facebook, Google, all Instagram, all of these channels I used to start selling. My only thought process at that time was I did find a community of people who are looking for such products just like me. And I literally started working and creating these products for that community whom I had identified, who were just like me looking out for these products. At the age of 32, I decided to, probably step out of my comfort zone, leaving both my kids at home to, start a venture. First thing that we did in 2018 was we applied for a manufacturing license. I was very clear from day one that we will do the manufacturing ourselves. I learned how to manufacture many of these skincare products, so I felt it was very close to me to handle the product manufacturing myself. So I set up a very small manufacturing unit in Gurgaon. 2019, my thought was to create a sustainable brand which could solve a problem in the environment. So we created a series called Zero Waste Skincare. I started working with a lot of wellness experts, a lot of environmentalists around the city, trying to create this awareness of read the label. And the first product that we brought into the market was a shampoo bar. plus ensuring the entire shampoo is biodegradable, which means the grey water is completely not polluting the environment. So that was the concept around the shampoo bar. When we started coming out in the market with the product, our thesis was very clear, and we never sold the product. We only sold the problem to the consumers. We told consumers that if you can replace that one essential product in your entire vanity with a shampoo bar instead of a liquid shampoo, imagine the amount of plastic that you could actually reduce from the landfills. And even if we can manage to convince 5% of the population to move from shampoo bottles to shampoo bars, we still create an impact there. So the idea was, creating the awareness among consumers, and it was very well received. Also, over the number of years of me surviving as a homegrown entrepreneur, I had built a lot of traction around these consumers coming and buying from a small brand like Soapworks India. The whole concept of B2C wasn't really a thing back then, which means that consumers reaching out to the brand directly meant something to them. They were able to customize the product, and they were able to tell me straightforward that I don't want plastic in my box. I want my product to be packed in such a way. So that really, brought us closer to the consumers. So we adopted 3 things when we built Earth Rhythm to position ourselves. One was, of course, sustainability, which is the core of Earth Rhythm. The second one being inclusivity, because inclusivity means in so many different levels, right from including the LGBT community as one, including different skin tones in our society. There were so many things to inclusivity that we could talk to. And the third one, of course, is the solid reason why consumers buy the product, which is clinical effectiveness. So overall, we wanted to ensure that we were completely giving consumers extremely transparent product, right from, whether it was the sourcing or whether it was the end product or the deliveries, the results out of the product in itself. We wanted to be entirely transparent in the whole process. And that's how I actually came about building Earth Rhythm. It wasn't like, I wouldn't say, a well-thought idea that came to my mind that I wanted to build a brand. It just took so many years from 2015 to think about what my consumers wanted, how they wanted it, and what exactly were they looking out for. And we kept, evolving over these number of years, and we've built the brand.
So just kind of building on that, what are some of the challenges you face to ensure that these products comply with organic standards?
Okay, so firstly, as a brand, we stay clear from, claiming products to be organic and natural. There are so many elements into, the chemical components of a skincare formulation. So first thing, when we started the manufacturing unit, we figured out one thing. India lacks a lot of legal compliances when it comes to, skincare space, especially regulating them, right? It's not as stringent as that of the US or the EU, where, every single formulation to product to ingredients are, year on year, evaluated. And we decided to take EcoCert on our, I decided to align with EcoCert rather. So if you can actually manage to have your factory aligned to EcoCert, it means that your manufacturing practices, the good manufacturing practices are aligned with EU guidelines. Every year on year, EcoCert comes. There are auditors coming from France to India to our factories to audit our factory. How they evaluate is there are 2-3 components to it. First is the factory site component, where they evaluate how neat, how good, how efficient is your factory. The second will be your formulation component, which means that they will evaluate the number of products that you sell under the label. And each ingredient, they will need to go up till the sourcing details. It was very important for us to have these certifications to tell consumers what amount of stringent policies that we have in place. Even recently, if you see 1-2 days back, we actually changed our logo, and we did that consciously simply because we wanted consumers to start understanding the crux of Earth Rhythm, that it's not about being natural or organic, it's about bringing in ingredients which either will benefit the consumer in terms of delivering what it is said to do, or the ingredient should actually comply with our biocompostability, which means that it should be biodegradable in nature, which actually in turn helps us to reduce our carbon footprint. So apart from that, we started working with repurpose. We're still trying to figure out more ways to work around with repurpose. Now repurpose is a global organization which helps companies evaluate what amount of carbon footprint they are generating and how you can nullify the effect in the environment.
Right, got it. So for our listeners, can you just tell us what is the difference between organic products and what you guys do?
Okay, so in organic products, basically 98 or 99% of the ingredients will be plant derived. As a formulator, if you ask me, I think organic would make more sense in a food industry because you're directly consuming it. But in a skincare space, right? In such a scenario, it's extremely, it doesn't make any sense, to be very honest, that you will claim a product to be a natural shampoo or a natural soap. Rather, I would consider that around human body is nothing but a complete chemical reaction that is there inside our human body. And why are we scared of chemicals? The word chemical itself is very scary to a lot of consumers. That's simply because I would say that lack of awareness in the industry at this point of time.
So to build on that, how have you gone about educating them about this?
I think in the initial stages, one big advantage Earth Rhythm had was right from the start of the journey, a lot of consumers have traveled with me who have really, seen real-time information on our social media pages. I think the next thing that what worked for us brilliantly was influencer and affiliate marketing. This UGC content actually creates a lot of impact in consumers' mind rather than a celebrity actually endorsing the product in itself.
So would you say in a broad sense that you have seen a shift in consumer buying patterns towards purchasing sustainable products?
So it depends on what kind of product you're selling. Now, if you look at a product like, say, a mass market product, right, where a consumer is simply picking up a product off a shelf, I don't think that still India is in that zone where they're still, looking out for sustainable products. But our TG, our target audience, are somewhere in the age group of 20 to 30, who we typically in the skincare industry call them the skintellectual consumers. Now, these are consumers who have the purchasing power in their hand, who are very intelligent, who understands the difference between what good and bad is around them, who are looking for content, who are engrossed in a lot of content that is there out in the internet. So these intellectual consumers are our major TG, right? Not even the millennials. So these TG typically they don't mind going a tad bit more than the mass market brand pricing to get the best. Right from day one, we've always been a mass premium brand, which means the average price is somewhere between 700 to 1,000. And consumers have always been very willing to go that one step ahead to pay that money and get that product.
So the D2C personal care industry has really exploded of late. And additionally, even large FMCG brands are also coming up with their own sustainable offerings. So how do you stand out from your competitors?
So what worked for us is standing out as being the self-manufacturers really helped us because a lot of times what happens is, brands are not, able to be transparent with consumers simply because they don't have access to the manufacturing data, right? For example, these days, the kind of queries that we get from consumers are not like, product not suiting and all of that. They want to know hydromethylosulfosuccinate, what is this ingredient? What does this do to my skin? If we are not manufacturing our own products, we are not able to give consumers the information as to what that ingredient is and why was it added and what is the function of that ingredient in a product, right? When you self-manufacture, you have access to your own formulations, which in turn, if you third-party manufacturer, will not have access. And even if you have access to the formulation, a third-party manufacturer will not let you do, any kind of patenting or any kind of, testing analysis to be carried out, simply because he would want to, safeguard the secrecy of that particular formulation. So that will force a third-party manufacturer to again stick to vague claims. He will simply call it brightening sunscreen instead of calling it what exactly it can do for your skin. So that's where we stood out and we were able to, differentiate ourselves.
Right. That makes sense. So there is a general perception that sustainable businesses just can't be profitable. There is a lot of structures and mechanisms you need to put in place to ensure you're sustainable, which people often perceive as expensive. So what's your take on that?
I will beg to differ on that. So I think, right from 2018 that we started to 2021 March this year till we raised our first seed round of funding, we were completely bootstrapped. We were EBITDA profitable plus bootstrapped. We never really raised any external funds. Not even debt, nothing. Literally, what we earned out of the business, we put the accruals back into the business, and that's how we were surviving, literally. And how we were profitable. Let's go into the how first. How we were profitable, since we were manufacturing ourselves. Again, the gross margins were pretty high. So which means that we were able to cut down on the intermittent, commission that was to be payable to a third-party manufacturer. That was the first reason that helped us a lot. Number two, when you self-manufacture, as you grow, you start leveraging on economies to scale, and that helps us to, bring the cost down and under control. We've worked on this concept called JIT, just in time, right? Till today, we work on JIT only, right? Today, we've actually grown 4x times to where we were in 2019, but we are still, working on a format called JIT, just in time, because a manufacturing floor is like a large kitchen. We have all the ingredients available and we forecast what is required for the next 60 days, and we manufacture only that. And we don't keep any dead inventory. So when, typically, let us compare it to another industry where third-party manufacturing is involved. You have MOQs for finished products, which means you will be buying huge inventory, and even if you don't sell, these huge inventory will still be showing on your books of accounts, and hence, your EBITDA will always be a negative only. We've really struggled in terms of packaging. At least India is a country where you still will find only the amber glass bottles. So we adopted to import them from China, Korea, Taiwan, few other countries. So what we did was, in the initial days, of course, we were trying to airlift them. It was hell expensive. It was loading on the cost. And then slowly we started, it was a slow process. We went back to the drawing board and started drawing. If we standardize the packaging for, say 10 different products and try to get these in bulk and try to bring them through sea, can we keep the cost under control?
So would you say all your packaging is completely sustainable, completely 100%?
No, we never ever claim our products to be 100% sustainable. We are, striving to get 100%, but we are not at 100% yet. So if I have to put a number, I would say we are 95% sustainable, but we are not 100%. The 5% would include the consumption of plastic that we have internally in our own factories, and everything would include the pump caps, the straw, and all of that, for which finding a replacement has been really a task. We're still working there. We have moved a lot of our products to bioplastic kind of a packaging. Now again, bioplastic, they are recyclable, but they're not biodegradable. So we're trying to, move around and find other ways to, keep ourselves, in sync with the sustainability route. But it's definitely impossible to claim it to be 100% sustainability.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for sitting with us. Just one last thing. Do you have any tips that you can give future entrepreneurs in the sustainability space?
Be a hustler. I think that really is the need of the hour in today's entrepreneurial journey. If you know the end, where you want to get to, you would not be lost in this journey. Most of the times what happens is, even I have noticed in my own personal journey, it's very easy to get lost. So be a hustler and, keep that focus and just keep chasing that, you will get there. So that's the only thing I have to say for, young entrepreneurs.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you. Thank you for having me.